Good evening and welcome to the 5th annual celebration for Root. I'm Chef Gordon Hamersley and I am excited about tonight's program. But first, a shout out to Chef Sam Hunt, who is the culinary director at Root, as well as the students that are presently in his kitchen and the many alumni that are watching tonight. To all of you from around the country, thank you for tuning in. And to my fellow chef and good friend, Frank McClellan, who has the restaurant Frank up in Salem. My first visit to Root was about 5 years ago. I did a class and an event that night, and I was very impressed with the professionalism that was in that kitchen that night. I've been proud of the work that Root has done over the years, and especially this year as they transitioned to helping cook for the community. They cook for both older folks as well as young students in the school system. That's something that most of those students will never, ever forget, and it's great, great education. The mentoring that goes on at Root is vitally important and very, very good. All you have to do is look at the success of the Root alumni to know that this program really, really works. I was inspired last year by the success of the event at the Cabot Theater, and we're hoping that this year's virtual event is just as successful. Obviously, with the pandemic and the coronavirus this year, keeping Root well funded to do the vital work that they're doing is important. So please be as generous as you possibly can. Later, we're going to hear from James Beard Award winner Kwame Onwuachi, who's written a fabulous memoir, and it's a very, very good read. So we're looking forward to hearing his remarks. Thank you for being here. And with that, I give you back to the Root team. Thanks.
Welcome to Root's 5th annual celebration. Thank you all for joining us tonight. My name is Jennifer Eddy, and I am the founder of Root. I'd first like to extend a special thank you to Chef Gordon Hamersley for kicking off our evening. Chef Gordon is a longtime friend of Root's and an advisory council member. I also want to thank our fabulous host committee, our generous sponsors, and all of you. We are here tonight to celebrate Root and to raise awareness of our programs, the resilience of our young people, and resilience across our community in this exceptional, unprecedented year. The pandemic has forced all of us to make significant changes in how we do what we do. In March, Root had to shut down its program and its social enterprises, the cafe, catering, and event businesses, which provide both revenue and serve to employ and train our youth. A few days after closing, we reopened our state-of-the-art training and production kitchen and hired 6 of our alumni and started cooking, packaging, and delivering emergency meals to our community. To date, over 17,000 meals have been prepared by Root youth employees. Our mission remains unchanged. We remain focused on helping Essex County youth find a pathway into the workforce and towards lifelong independence. In conjunction with our partners, we are making strides and connections that benefit the entire community. Root's quick pivot in March was possible because of our strong community partnerships and because many of you who from the very beginning have helped to build a resilient and responsive organization. You'll hear more about the development and launch of Root's community catering in response to the pandemic from Scott a bit later. In spite of an incredibly challenging year, Root has weathered the storm and has emerged as a stronger and ultimately more effective organization. We restarted our program in July with a much smaller COVID-careful cohort, say that 3 times really quickly. To date, Root has graduated 116 young people, generated over $400,000 in earned revenue from our businesses, has earned the support from public leaders like Mayor Kim Driscoll and Governor Charlie Baker, and built a community of supporters more dedicated than I could have ever imagined when founding Root. Thank all of you. While Root has been able to adapt in service to young people and others this year, the past 9 months have brought incredible hardship and pain for so many in our communities and within the extended Root family. We want to especially recognize our restaurant and food service partners who provide employment and much more to Root graduates. As many as 50%, if not more, of restaurants are predicted to close by the end of COVID. Restaurants help feed us, they employ our friends and family, and they help us create a sense of community. We ask those who are able to continue to support local restaurants this winter by dining out, gift card purchases, and by supporting employee relief funds. By supporting local restaurants here on the North Shore, you are also likely helping to keep a Root graduate employed. As you know, we are here this evening to celebrate our collective resiliency in these difficult times and to raise funding to support Root's critical programs. Over the next 25 minutes, you had the opportunity to bid on some of the exciting auction items, including a Root catered dinner for 10, Sam and team will be involved, a private evening with folk legend Livingston Taylor, a beautiful matching mask and apron set made by Root alumnus and Frank employee Stevie Pipes, and other great items to support Root. We also have a fantastic and broad variety of Zoom cooking classes taught by talented local and some not so local chefs that you can purchase to help you achieve new culinary heights. These would make great holiday gifts. I'm giving my husband Tom the beer can barbecue class. Shh, don't tell him. Our Raise the Paddle, auction, and cooking classes will remain open through Sunday night, but we hope you'll check these items out tonight if you haven't already. You'll hear from Scott Knox, Root's Executive Director, on Root's work and impact this year, as well as 3 Root youth alumni sharing their individual journeys from Root to today. Tonight, we are so grateful to have many longtime friends and many new friends joining us from their homes. A special thank you to Mike Curtin, who's CEO of DC Central Kitchen and a Root Advisory Council member, who's joining us from Washington, D.C., Salem Mayor Kim Driscoll, and Janet Davis, the founder of Liberty's Kitchen, and many, many others, friends near and far, for being with us tonight. Thank you so much. I would now like to introduce a very special guest speaker, Chef Kwame Onwuachi, who is joining us from Los Angeles. Chef Kwame has been recognized by Food and Wine magazine, Esquire magazine, and the James Beard Foundation as the Rising Star Chef of the Year. He is a past contestant on Top Chef and will be returning to the next season of Top Chef as a judge. He is the author of the New York Times best-selling memoir, Notes from a Young Black Chef, which you can purchase locally from Copper Dog Books, which is in Beverly. And this past summer, he was a guest chef virtually here in the Root Kitchen for our 11th cohort. I hear it was very good fried chicken. We are so pleased to have you join us tonight. Welcome, Chef Kwame.
Hey, this is Kwame Onwuachi, and it is so great to be a part of the Root's 5th annual celebration. Right now, I'm in Los Angeles, California, working on a couple projects. I have a movie that's filming soon, and I just finished wrapping up the next season of Top Chef as a judge. Now, it's so great for me to be on this side of the table as I was a contestant formerly, because I'm able to add a little bit of diversity and another perspective to the judging pool. You know, I also want to share a bit of my story and my experience as to why programs like Root are so important to youth in entering the culinary industry and their path to independence. My experience as a guest chef with Root was amazing. I got to really connect with the students and answer any questions they had about this industry. And the thing that I told them was to never give up. This journey in culinary arts is so rigorous, and you have to have passion, dedication, and determination and tenacity to make it in this industry. I've gone through lots of ups and downs. I've opened restaurants, I've closed them, I've opened them and closed them again. But I've also been to so many amazing places. I've traveled to Hong Kong to cook. I've traveled to Mumbai, to Nigeria. I've cooked for Barack Obama, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and so many more. Kitchen jobs give you the opportunity to work almost anywhere in this world, and you can do anything that you put your mind to. For alumni, just stick with it. There will be bad days, and failures are a part of the journey. You have Root cheering you on and providing support. I hear you're always part of the Root family. So take advantage of that, what Root offers you, and find someone in your kitchen to continue to mentor you. For supporters and friends, programs like Root provide incredibly unique and valuable pathways for young people who, like me, were trying to figure out their journey. Support Root with your time and with your financial support. And for the students and alumni, believe in yourself. Root Kitchen is a supportive environment. Be the good person in whatever kitchen you're in too. Right now, the next 3 months, the next couple months, look like cooking for a lot of different clients out here in Los Angeles and, getting ready for the filming of the movie. The restaurant industry is in shambles right now, and we need everybody to support them as best as we can. There is a recipe and rub, provided for you from me, something that's near and dear to my heart. So thank you for accepting that and enjoy that and put it on everything. And last but not least, good night. It has been a pleasure to be with you tonight, and I look forward to following Root's continuing growth. I'm gonna hand it back to the Root team. Take care.
Thank you to Chef Kwame for joining us tonight. Your talent, your passion, and your personal story inspires all of us at Root, and we hope to see you in person in the Root Kitchen in the near future. On behalf of Root, thank you again for joining us tonight. We are incredibly grateful to our community and employer partners, our donors, our volunteers, our customers, and the entire Root community of champions. We are here this evening stronger in many ways than we have ever been because of you. As many of you know, Root is a youth culinary job training and employment program in Salem, and we are so much more. Root works with young people who, for one reason or another, have experienced a barrier to employment and their path into adulthood. This looks like a lot of different things, from housing insecurity to involvement with juvenile justice, but the important thing is that we meet young people where they are at. Root starts with an intensive training model that combines the culinary hard skills with the key soft skills necessary to get and maintain a job. Over 240 hours of training is focused on preparing a young person for a prep or a line cook role at one of our 40+ food service partners. Training includes not only knife cuts, mother sauces, and mise en place, it also includes workforce readiness and personal finances, such as opening a bank account, discussing credit, and how to file taxes. These are core skills every young person needs, no matter what your background. And if someone is still working towards their high school diploma or their HiSET equivalent, we support a young person to work towards that milestone. After graduation, all Root alumni have 12 months of follow-up support services in their journey to employment or continuing education. We know having a support system through those first steps of employment and adulthood is crucial, and Root's program team is there to help navigate these new waters. But it really doesn't end after 12 months. Beth and Mike here at Root often say you're forever part of the Root family, and we have alumni who after more than 2 years are still stopping by for advice or to discuss that next step in employment. What sets us aside from other workforce development programs, however, is our social enterprise model. From the first day as a Root trainee to graduates employed by Root, our social enterprises provide youth with experiential training as well as employment to alumni to continue their development in our kitchen. In 2018, Root's cafe, catering, and event space enterprises generated $135,000 in earned revenue. In 2019, our social enterprises generated nearly $250,000 in earned income and provided employment for 15 alumni. Not every training program graduate works at Root, but those who can benefit from additional skill development and training thrive with 6+ months of paid employment. In 2020, our social enterprises look different due to COVID, And while our cafe and event space are temporarily closed, catering continues, and we were thrilled to win the Best of the North Shore Reader's Choice Award for Best Caterer. Like so many other organizations working with the community, 2020 has required us to adapt and to change. In fact, we believe 2020 has brought out the best of Root and what our young people are capable of. In mid-March, Chef Sam reached out to Mayor Driscoll's office and other partners to say Root stood ready to help. With a first-class training and production kitchen, Chef Sam and the kitchen posse of Root alumni began preparing hundreds of free community meals each week. Funded by donors, these free community meals have gone directly to seniors, children and teens, clients served by LifeBridge, My Brother's Table, Plumber Youth Promise, Harbor Light Community Partners, and many more agencies. As of today, Root alumni and Chef Sam have produced over 17,000 meals to help address hunger relief here on the North Shore. Today, 9 months into the pandemic, nearly 1 in 5, or 20% of residents in the Commonwealth are food insecure. That's nearly 1 million individuals, many of whom are right here in Essex County. Root is proud to partner with agencies focused on addressing hunger relief in our own unique way of providing fresh, nutritious, individual meals for those in need. And at Root, these meals are much more. They provide meaningful, above minimum wage jobs for Root alumni, some of whom have lost employment due to COVID. Even more, Root has begun partnering with New Entry's Sustainable Farming Project, as well as the Food Project, to support local farms. Root's community catering, which we're proud to officially launch, works to address hunger relief, creates meaningful employment for young adults, and supports local farming. As one of Root's board members says, this is a win-win-win triple threat of social impact, and we've started this together with you. In addition to launching our community catering, which will work to incorporate community meals for those in need as one of our core social enterprises through and beyond the pandemic, we also want to share that this year, Root is proud to present our Community Leadership Award to the Essex County Community Foundation. Tomorrow, look for details in your email on why we chose ECCF for their tireless work in not only supporting Root, but more importantly, agencies and efforts all across the county that represent the best of who we are, especially in a crisis. Collaboration, hyper-local solutions, and impact. In this year of challenge, we recently graduated our 11th class, increasing the total number of Root graduates to 116. We remain committed to our local restaurant partners and are also developing relationships with more diverse food service providers such as hospital and university dining services, for example. As I mentioned, we recently achieved 17,000 community meals and we're just getting started. I want to give a huge shout out to the entire Root staff, especially Chef Sam, for their incredible dedication and commitment to young people and many more in Essex County. This evening, we're thrilled to include 3 Root alumni to share their experience through and beyond Root. You'll hear from Cass, Ebony, and Joe, 3 Root graduates with different pathways into the workforce and in higher education. We are so proud of Cass, Ebony, and Joe, and all Root alumni, and we thank each of them for sharing their journey into adulthood with their voice and experience.
All right, hold on.
I'm smiling too much, my cheeks hurt.
Hi, my name is Joseph Sylvester.
My name is Ebony.
My name is Cassandra Bartolo.
I graduated from Swampscott High School. I'm a Root alum, and I am currently a sophomore at Johnson & Wales University.
I'm 18 years old, I'm a graduate of Root, and I live here in Salem.
I am 19 years old. I live in Beverly, Massachusetts, and I'm a Root alumni.
So I was looking for something to do for my senior project. Senior project is where they allow the students to leave 3 months early before we graduate, so we'll be able to have some time to figure out what we want to do before we go off to college. So I always knew I wanted to do culinary arts, so one day I was chatting with one of the detectives that worked at our school, and her name's Detective Cheevers, and she just mentioned the Root program, and I signed up, and a few weeks later, I was accepted.
I remember I was recommended root from my mother. She worked in the Shetland Park building, and it was an opportunity. It was something I had never tried before. I knew I liked cooking, but I never, had the opportunity to grow with it. So I think that's why I chose to follow through with root.
I heard about Root from Miguel. He's the artist who did the painting on the front of the calf, and he took us up here for a tour, and I applied the same day because I liked it. My interview went really well. I kicked it off right away with Beth. She's like a fun, nice person, so I wouldn't see myself not being friends with her.
What stands out to me about root is that it's a lot different than any other type of program I did.
Learning about like professionalism, being on time. That's one thing I definitely needed to work on.
You guys are so loving and caring about your alumni and your trainees that make us want to come back.
I learned to be more proactive and to be looking for opportunity. Opportunities not always gonna just come to you. You have to follow through with what you want if you really wanna get it. It's a lot of give and take in life. There's gonna be times where you do mess up and there'll be consequences, but the consequences never outweigh what you learn from it. There's gonna be times where you're not gonna get it the first time, the second time, the third time, but when you do, you'll know it for life.
In Root, we all had to do externships. I did mine at Tres Gatos in Jamaica Plain, which is a tapas bar and restaurant. One thing that I took away from doing the externship was that I had to be open-minded about food. Before I started there, I was very closed-minded. I didn't know a lot of the menu items, so I had to try everything, and I just had to remember that foods can be very diverse.
I've been in touch with Root with Beth. She likes to text me every once in a while and make sure I'm like doing good and stuff like that. And I've been telling her that I've been looking for a job, and she said she would keep her eye open, and she did. A typical day at Root is walking in, signing in, taking your temperature, and then clocking in, looking at the to-do list, and then talking to Chef Sam to see what else we have to do. And then at the end, we just clean up together. I wanted to work at Root because you guys are like very supportive, like I said before, and like you guys just make people feel welcomed here.
The Root program contributed to who I am today by, sticking with me. It's like I'm someone who I want to form a bond with the people I'm around, and Root makes it really easy. In a way, it's like there's the things you should know in life, like doing your taxes and getting a credit card, getting credit, trying to move out. And it's like sometimes I can't get help with those from other people, but I know that the people at Root really, they give good advice.
Recently, Beth had took me to go get my ID, and we had to wait in our car because of the COVID, and yeah, I got it. I needed the ID because most banks won't let you open a bank account or cash your checks without your ID or any identification, so those were like big in what I needed in opening a bank account.
I applied to the Root Scholarship because, first off, I needed it. I was really nervous. I was really depending on this scholarship. In the back of my mind, I was like, oh, you're not gonna get it. But when you guys called, I was so excited. I was literally jumping up and down. I was ready to go, and I was so I appreciated it so much. Root has done a lot for me. When I first came to Johnston & Wills, they gave me a tour of the Cuisinart Center of Culinary Excellence, and Right when I saw it, I was ready to come. I was ready to start. They showed me the equipment. They showed me the chocolate labs, mixology labs, and yeah, I was just ready to start school then. When I first got here, we took foundations of culinary arts, but I feel like I learned a majority of that when I was at Root. So I aced that class. I did great. Well, my favorite class at Johnson & Wales is Global. We learn about different styles of cooking, different spices from around the world, why they're so expensive. We learn about Asian cooking, Indian cooking. It was my favorite part because it was so diverse, and just learning about it was really mind-opening.
Right now, I'm working at Front Street Coffee House in Salem. It's the best job I've ever had. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like work. I'm still doing everything I should be doing. I'm being good, but it's really enjoyable to talk to the customers and do customer service and try to make sure everyone's happy.
When I think about my future, I think about being successful and accomplishing my goals, meaning I want to finish school. I want to go to school for cosmetology and culinary and get certificates in both of those, because you have bills and stuff to pay, and you're depending on yourself, not your parents anymore. I don't know. I just feel like being responsible for myself.
I feel like Root is definitely cheering me on and always there to be a support for me, and they're just always rooting for me, and they're always checking on me, making sure I'm okay, and making sure I have everything I need.
When I think about the future me, I really want stability. Life is never certain, this year can attest, but I want to make a stable life for me and find other people who are working hard like I am, people who can be a role model in my life. I think you tend to become like the people you hang out with. So I just want to continue to find a lot of nice people and continue to work on myself. Yes.
Thank you to Cass, Joe, and Ebony for sharing your experiences with all of us this evening. As you listened to our alumni tonight, you got to hear from a range of young people who enroll in Root's job training program. From the young person working towards their high school diploma and entering the workforce, to the young person whose passion has him pursuing further culinary education with Root support. We're approaching the end of our evening, and we are blown away by the support for Root and our programs this evening. Please continue to bid on Root's exciting auction and check it out if you haven't yet. All the generously donated auction items can be enjoyed safely during COVID. We are honored to have our friends at PSP Imports, Livingston Taylor, Frank McClelland, alumna Stevie Pipes, and Team Root all generously contributing in support of our mission. The auction will remain open through this Sunday. Also, don't forget the amazing virtual cooking classes, all $50, which you can do easily from home. And if you prefer, you can also make a direct donation to Root. 100% of gifts this evening and through Sunday will go directly to support Root's mission, our youth job training program and alumni services, and our community catering to help feed others in need in Essex County. Tonight marks Root's 5th annual celebration, and thanks to you, we're just getting started. In the continuing COVID crisis and beyond, Root stands strong with our commitment to expanding opportunities for young people with barriers to employment. We stand strong with our community collaborators in growing Root's community catering across the North Shore. And our social enterprises will continue to expand as they grow and evolve to provide both culinary employment and earned income in support of our mission. We have a special thank you video as well as some kitchen hacks by Root alumni and Amton the Magician that will directly follow, so please stick around. Thank you again to Chefs Gordon and Kwame, our outstanding host committee, to all of our sponsors and donors who make our work and made this evening a success.
Safety first, masks up. These will all be available on the Root website along with other Root paraphernalia soon.
Thank you and good night. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here tonight.
Thank you for providing externship opportunities.
Thanks for supporting community meals.
Thank you for being a referral partner.
Thank you for being a catering customer.
Thank you for being a volunteer.
Thank you for supporting Root.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Hi, I'm Anton, the official magician of Salem, Massachusetts. And even though you're there and I'm here, I can already tell what some of you are thinking. And the answer is yes. That is a real title that was actually given to me by the city and the state. It's a great honor for me, but today I am honored to be here with you for Root North Shore's 5th annual celebration. I consider myself to be fortunate to be a friend of Root North Shore. When Michael May first introduced me to the program, I was blown away by the scope of the work being done. As somebody who makes his living from the mastery and execution of a craft, I immediately understood the life-changing impact that Root North Shore's programs have on the people who participate in them. I'd like to take a moment to illustrate a few of the very important values that Root North Shore provides to its youth participants, using a single strand of pasta. Root provides hands-on workplace experience, an increased sense of self-confidence, an understanding of what it means to be truly dedicated to something, a renewed sense of self-value. And most importantly, the knowledge that no matter where they go and no matter what they do in life, that they have the skills to improve their situation. Now, any one of these things would be extremely valuable on its own. But when we put them together, incredible things can happen. Now I want you to know that the camera is not going to cut away from here on out, and that what you are about to see is completely real. When we work together, we can do incredible things. This is the magic of Root. And I know that with friends like you, Root will be able to continue to feed opportunity for individuals and the community. I'm Anton, the official magician of Salem, and I want to leave you with this thought. Each and every one of you who are watching right now are the people who make a difference in your life, the lives of those around you, and the world. You are the magic. Thank you for being here to celebrate Root's 5th anniversary. Bye.
Hi, my name is Stevie. I graduated from Root this past year, March of 2020, and I'm going to show you how to make the perfect crispy skinned roast chicken. You want to have chicken, obviously. It's pretty important to this process. You want some herb butter. I use some rosemary, thyme, sage, and a little bit of zest from the lemon that we're going to use. Salt, pepper, whatever herbs. I use the leftover herbs from the herb butter, which is just rosemary, thyme, and sage again. And then you want you can use whatever kind of mustard you want or barbecue sauce, but the trick is what you want to do is thin it out with a little bit of olive oil, both to get the fat in there and so that you can actually brush it over the chicken with a brush. So the first thing we want to do is get fat, which is the herb butter, underneath the skin. It's a bit of get close and personal with this chicken, but you have to loosen up the skin first. So quite literally, you just got to get in there, and it's really important that you get the skin around the thighs as well, because that'll help get the herb butter down there and kind of season the dark meat part, which is very nice. But yeah, you want to make sure. So all the skin's loose. Looks a little icky, but it's going to turn out really nice. And then you want to put herb butter under the skin. I like to use a piping bag and just pipe it in there because it just is easier than trying to spread it under there with your hands. And you know what? I'm going to need something to cut this piping bag with. The most important part, have everything planned out and everything cut with, actually. Got a knife on its way.
So Stevie, where do you work?
I work at Frank Restaurant in Beverly. Otherwise known as Farm to Frank. They are kind of like a fancy farm to table kind of deal. A lot of the produce that we get is actually grown on Chef Frank McClellan's farm. And we use all that to cook in the restaurant every single day. And so you learn a lot about how to work with different kinds of fresh ingredients. And everything's super local and seasonal, so obviously that's always a good thing. Especially when, not wasting stuff. We use every part of everything. If it doesn't get put into the dish, it gets put into a stock for the most part. So, have the skins loose. You just want to kind of get the bag in there. Just squeeze in butter so you have kind of a lumpy chicken. It's going to seem like a crazy amount of butter. That's perfectly fine. Everything that melts out of the chicken goes underneath into your pan, and then you can use all of that to make stock with later, which is also very nice. So once the butter's under there, you want to make sure you mush it around, and you really want to make sure you get it everywhere, because that way it'll keeps the meat moist, because the fat keeps the liquid in the meat itself, and then it also kind of cooks and bubbles and boils and gets the skin crispy from the inside, which is what makes it the most perfect crispy skin chicken. Alright, beautiful lumpy chicken. So that's on there. That part, easy peasy, done. The next thing you want to do is put your stuff into the chicken. So we're getting ready to bake it. So we've got our herbs. You just kind of, not very graceful, you get it in there however you can. And then you want to take half the lemon and also stick it in there, because the juices from that kind of help steam the chicken from the inside and give the meat a nice flavor to it. The other half of the lemon, I like to sometimes just squeeze a little bit on the skin just to give it a little extra flavor, and it gives the drippings underneath pretty good flavor for stock too, if that's what you want for your stock. So fat underneath, then we want to do a little bit of salt and pepper on the skin itself. It's kind of hard to do with slimy chicken gloves. You want to give it a good seasoning because the skin tastes so good when you're done with it. And some salt. Once that's on there, you want to give it, so once that's all set up in there, you want to give it, you want to bake it until it gets to about between 80 and 90 degrees, and then you're going to want to give it the first brush of the mustard, oil, whatever you use, mixture. Then you want to cook it again, obviously, until it hits the correct temperature of 165 degrees. And then you just want to cool it and eat it. So we'll stick this bad Larry in the oven. Okay, this is our delicious, crispy, dark brown, lemon herb roasted chicken. It's gonna be delicious, it smells good, it should be nice and crispy.
Hi, my name's Serenity. I'm from Lynn, Massachusetts. I graduated Root in 2020, and my kitchen hack is that I'm gonna help you keep an avocado fresh for longer. So what you wanna do is you wanna have everything cut in half and ready to go in your container. You're gonna put your lime in there. You're gonna take the lemon, you're gonna squeeze it a little bit around the half of the avocado you don't wanna eat. Just rub the lemon juice right in there, the lemon right in there just for safekeepings, and your avocado will stay fresh.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I graduated from the Root program this last December, and I'm now an artisan baker with A&J King. And today I'm going to show you a couple of quick bread hack videos. One for activating your yeast before it goes into the mix, and one for auto-leasing your flour to provide additional strength before it all comes together. So for this first part, we're going to take about 1 cup of lukewarm water. More. And we're going to add in our sugar and yeast. About 1 tablespoon of each. And I'll take a whisk and combine that as much as possible. And now the warmth from the water as well as the presence of sugar is going to allow that yeast to activate. And as you'll see shortly, you will notice that it plumes up quite nicely, and that'll give you a much more active yeast to supercharge your dough.
How long have you been working at A&J?
I've been working at A&J for about 8 months now. And I started a very simple role of mostly support, but I've been working my way up to the point where now I take on some of the lead mix and bake.
Great. So what is the reason for this process?
This allows the yeast to get some food and some warmth before it's added into your dough. That way it gets a little bit of a head start, and it will proof a lot more quickly and ideally more efficiently.
Really?
And as you can see, the yeast will start bubbling up to the surface, and that will let you know that the yeast is active and it is currently breaking down that sugar, producing carbon dioxide. And that's exactly what you want it to do. Be nice and active, really going nuts right now. This will give you a more efficient, more powerful rise in your dough.